Adjunct Professor Moran, Microeconomics 112. In this session, we're going to begin discussing the marginal revenue and marginal cost approach to price and quantity determination for the purely competitive firm. The advantage of the marginal revenue marginal cost approach is that it calculates costs on a per unit basis, which price is also on a per unit basis, and allows that direct comparison. That direct comparison is going to allow us to make more decisions than the total cost, total revenue approach will do, because this approach will allow us to determine whether the firm should profit maximize, loss minimize, or shut down. To do this marginal revenue marginal cost approach, we need to calculate costs on a per unit basis, which are averages. So we need to calculate average fixed, average variable, average total cost. Then we can compare these averages, which are on a per unit basis, directly to price. From our last unit, from our last chapter, you can remember perhaps that how to calculate total costs, average costs. Calculating average costs. We're preparing for the marginal revenue, marginal cost approach to price and quantity determination for the individual firm in a purely competitive market. And the advantage is this allows us direct comparison between average costs, which are on a per unit basis, and price, which is also on a per unit basis. And that's going to allow us to determine profit max, loss min, or shut down. Calculating average costs. All average costs can be found one of two ways. You can take the total fixed cost, for example, and divide it by the quantity of output. Make sure when you're calculating statistics, you know whether that statistic is requiring division by quantity of output or quantity of input. Here we're using quantity of output. You can also find average fixed cost by taking average total cost and subtracting average variable cost. Average variable cost can be found by taking average total cost and subtracting out average fixed cost. Or you could take total variable cost and divide by quantity of output. Average total cost can be found by taking total cost and divided by quantity of output. Remember that total cost can be found by summing total fixed cost and total variable cost and then dividing by quantity of output. Or you can take average fixed cost plus average variable cost to get average total cost. So here are our numbers for our total revenue and total cost approach. So we can take total fixed cost and divide it by 1 and you get 100. Dividing total fixed cost by 2 and you get 50. 3, you get 33, 4, 25, and you continue. Notice that although fixed cost is fixed in total, it declines with increasing amounts of output, as each additional unit of output has the impact of causing all the prior ones to carry less weight. Average variable cost, we'll take our total variable cost and divide it by the quantity of output, our total product. 190 divided by 1 is 90. 170 divided by 2 is 85. 240 divided by 3 is 80. 300 divided by 4 is 75, and so on. Total variable cost divided by quantity of product. Average variable cost. Your average total cost can be found by summing these two, average fixed and average variable. Or you can take your total cost and divide it by quantity of output. 190 divided by 1, 270 divided by 2, 340 divided by 3. Now we have our averages. Okay. What's our decision rule going to be? Okay. The firm will achieve its best outcome when the firm will produce marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Remember, for the firm, for a purely competitive firm, marginal revenue is also its price, because it has a perfectly elastic demand curve. The price is the same regardless of quantity of output sold, and it has to be taken from the market. Perfectly elastic. So that means that price equals marginal revenue. Also, as we displayed in an earlier worksheet, price is also going to equal average revenue, and this also equals demand. So we're going to set all of these four variables: price, which also equals marginal revenue because of this perfectly elastic demand curve, average revenue, and demand. And we're going to set all of that equal. We're going to find where that equals marginal cost. That's going to result in the best outcome for the firm, which will either be profit maximization if price is greater than average total cost, loss minimization if price is between average variable and average total, or the firm will shut down if price is less than average variable cost. We'll demonstrate this, and we'll also graph it. Now, let's see, what other notes do we want to discuss here? So we did this, and okay. Notice for this firm, if the price is 131, all we have to do now is go down and find where price equals marginal cost. So price equals marginal cost. Nope, price is greater than marginal cost. Greater, greater. Price greater than marginal cost. Greater, greater. Larger, larger. Here it is. Now price is less. Stop the last time that price is greater than marginal cost. And right away, on a per unit basis, we can see that price is greater than marginal cost. That's going to give us our profit maximizing level of output profit of $2.99 at 9 units. Okay. In our next video, we're going to explain why this results in the best outcome for the firm and graph it.